Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Julia. Today we are doing another pick a card reading, and today's reading is a pretty important one. Today we're going to be reading on what is your calling, and I just want to say that this isn't necessarily a career or occupation type read, although it might touch on that subject a little bit because sometimes, you know, your career will have a big play in your calling, but this is more channeling your higher purpose. I feel this is going to touch on the topic of the higher purpose and reason behind maybe certain themes that play out in your life, certain careers maybe that you are meant to have in this life, and also the reason behind certain things that have happened or that are happening in your life that all play a part in what your calling is. Now, I am very aware that there are levels to this. There are levels, and some of us have such a high purpose and high calling that is very guarded and very protected for specific reasons that the divine has. And so for some of those things, it'll be a little bit harder to view in or hone in on. But I think this will be a really interesting reading, and I'm happy to do it, and I'm happy you all are here with me today. So let's go ahead and get right into it. We are going to have 5 piles. And as per usual, the timestamps will be in the comments and in the description. So I'm going to go ahead and show you each pile. Yes, these are little tea light LED candles. So let me just go ahead and show you. Pile 1 is going to be the red starred tea light. This is pile 1, the red star. Pile 2 is going to be the silver star. The silver star is pile 2. Pile 3 is the green round tea light. Now, I know the other ones are stars, so it's the only one that's not a star, but this is the only one that sparkles. So it's still got something special to it. Kind of reminds me of the earth. Beautiful green round sparkly light. So this is pile 3. Whoop, it's rolling. We got a runner. Runner. Okay, safe. Safe. Okay, pile 4 with the gold star tea light. And last but definitely not least, we have pile 5 with the purple star tea light. It's pile 5. So go ahead and choose your piles. The timestamps are going to be in the description and the comments, and I will see you guys at your pile. Thank you so much for being here, and if you're not, I hope you will feel called to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys at your pile. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the red tea light star, pile 1, this is your reading on what is your calling, what is your higher purpose. So we're going to get as far into this as Spirit will let me, because I know some of you have really very important callings that aren't meant to be broadcasted out for everyone, but we are going to do our very best to uncover what we can, okay? So let's just start channeling and get right into it, pile 1. So coming out first for you, pile 1, we have the mirror and the riddle. Wow. These are 2 cards I don't have jump out for me a lot. So right away I want to say that I'm getting that you are a very highly evolved soul. I feel that you incarnated into this lifetime perhaps maybe not fully understanding who you are. And I know that might sound a little bit vague, but we're all born with spiritual amnesia. You know what I mean? Like, none of us truly fully know who we are spiritually when we're born. Like, maybe Jesus Christ the Lord did, but you know what I mean? For the rest of us, we kind of have this spiritual amnesia, and we have, you know, this lifetime to uncover the different layers and depths to us. But I feel there's a lot, like yours might have been very veiled. Like, let me give you an example for myself personally. Kind of makes me feel like this might be my pile. I have Neptune conjunct the sun. You know, I have a huge conjunction in the 8th house. I have Neptune on the galactic center conjunct the sun, the South Node in Ceres at the beginning of my 8th house. At the end of my 8th house, I have Venus conjunct Mercury and Lilith. So things get pretty intense and chaotic, but that comes with a lot of, yes, psychic gifts, but also a lot of, there's a lot of stuff that happens in the 8th house, trauma, scandals, addictions, jail, other people's money. Just there's a lot of 8th house is just so intense, But with that Neptune conjunct the sun, that puts like a veil around my identity, the sun, which makes it hard for other people to fully understand who I truly am, and also for many years it was hard for me to understand who I truly am. It's like more veiled. So you might have something like that, because also coming out right here we have Neptune in reverse. So there's something about people not fully understanding you, and you maybe not fully understanding who or what you or your purpose is for a long time. It's kind of giving that feeling, especially coming out next with the riddle. Also, it's giving me the feeling that you might have been either watched for a long time, like maybe if you were under some kind of a supervision, maybe there's been different periods of your life where, like maybe on probation or under the watch of some kind of authority, like maybe if you were in the military, or even possibly just always feeling like eyes were on you, like people were always watching you. You probably also have a very magnetic aura. People probably are very drawn to look at you. Like this is very common with people who have also high spiritual energy. With the mirror too coming out, when people have are really highly evolved, your frequency, when you have a very high frequency, your high vibration, you tend to be a mirror for people that mirrors back parts of them they aren't always ready to see, and so I feel that with you, with your energy right here. So and that is part of your calling, is to reflect back to people their true selves. So if you've ever found yourself in situations where you truly felt you were just being yourself, and you couldn't figure out maybe why people were treating you in a specific manner, why certain things were happening, like why is this person getting mad at or treating me in a bad way, it really wasn't you. It wasn't you. What the person was seeing is it's like they were having to face themselves on an energetic level. That person you were just being yourself, but that person automatically, all the things about themselves that they didn't like, they were projecting onto you. And it's like looking at you was like looking in a mirror energetically, for them energetically. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm trying to explain it the best way I can, but it's kind of like they automatically assume all the worst things about themselves is what you are, because they didn't understand your energy. I hope that makes some kind of sense. And this was meant to trigger these people. In this sense, you are also a catalyst. This is also part of your calling. And by doing that, the people then have the choice to say, hey, recognize this is something in me that I don't like, and make necessary changes. Or, because not everybody's ready to do that, they'll get mad at you and then start projecting a lot of anger at you and treat you badly, and they don't know why. They can't figure out why. They just don't like you. And it's because they don't understand your energy, and they don't understand what they're not liking is parts of themselves that need to be integrated. Okay? Also, part of your calling that I'm seeing here with the bee, the oyster, and the hyena. We have bee in reverse, oyster, and hyena. Part of your journey, your calling, your purpose, your higher purpose, was learning who not to work with. Learning who not to open yourself up to. Because learning how to be able to identify the hyenas in your life. And I'm not going to say or call any specific animal good or bad, because they all have a place, right, in the grand scheme of things, an important thing. But the energy I'm channeling off this hyena, especially with that half moon behind it, is these are the people who don't show their true face. The people who don't show their true face. The people who stay really hidden. It's not even a full moon out. It's the people who it's hard to see their truth, who are, basically, like I keep hearing, like a laughing hyena. The people who are not being, true to your face, not being friendly, not the people who have not good intentions for you, the people who like to run in packs. it was a part of your journey, and your calling was learning to not open yourself up and continue to run around with these types of people. It was learning how to disconnect from groups such as this. This was part of your calling. And, you know, some of us might be thinking, you know, even myself sometimes, but why is that part of my calling? Well, it is. It's part of the journey. We can't, I'm hearing right now loudly from my spirit guides, we can't save everyone. We can't save everyone. And so I feel this is telling me there's probably been a lot of people you've had to walk away from or cut off, or that spirit is, you know, encouraging you to do so now. People, that you might have love from them, but you might need to love them from a distance, because it might just, oh, I just heard it might just save your life. You know, there's people that we want to have so much love for because we've seen potential in them, or we knew them for a long time, but people change. Sometimes people aren't who we remember them to be, or who we knew them to be. You know, sometimes people change. Sometimes people grow cold. Sometimes people choose the other side. They go to the dark side. And so part of your journey and your calling is learning who to not open yourself up to so emotionally to these kinds of people, and not to be running around in those packs. It is a part of your calling. I just have to say what I'm seeing in the cards. I also have to say that I'm seeing part of I feel that for a lot of you, you have started to understand that you do have a greater purpose, and that you are aligning to your greater purpose, and that you've made, I feel, great changes, but I feel that there's something that you feel surfacing that you haven't all the way answered. I feel you haven't all the way answered your call yet, not because you don't want to, but because you don't understand exactly what it is yet. And I'm hoping this will be the reading where we can uncover what that is, but I feel it, because we have surfacing in reverse. Then next we have destiny in reverse and love begins in reverse. And let me tell you what I'm getting from this, my pile one. I feel it was also part of your destiny. Well, maybe that this is more feeling past it. It was destined for part of your destiny in the past. Oh, I just felt a knock on my back, like here on the left side. All right, left. Something feminine, especially if you're a feminine. It was about the people you were giving to, the arms, the back, who might have eventually ended up stabbing you in the back. That was just a straight clairsentient message, not even from the cards. Yeah, part of your destiny was experiencing certain things in love, where it was part of your destiny to experience certain pains or hurts in the love department, where true love didn't begin, because it wasn't meant to for you until you are in alignment with your destiny. I am being told there is something huge surfacing for you, and when it comes, you are going to then be in alignment with a true love, and it will make you realize how all the other things were nothing. Well, not nothing. They were learning experiences, but the reason why none of them worked out. There is something in store for you so much greater. Door to Spirit, Archangel Michael. Woo! I was working with Archangel Michael earlier today. I got a candle burning for him right over there. I love you some Archangel Michael boy. Okay, so yes, there is a lot of things that have tried to block you. I see there's a lot of things that have tried to get in your way. There's been many situations I see where you've had people who are more than capable of helping you out, who did not extend you a hand of help. And this was even more so, not even just during like the dark night of the soul period for you. This was happening for you like often. I feel there's people that you did a lot for, and then when things were going good for these people, and you might have needed something or been, at a point in your life where you were down bad or somehow off the beaten path, nobody was there to give a helping hand back in return. This might have led to a lot of times where you felt unlovable and felt like you didn't have love to even give to yourself. And I'm seeing all this in the cards. I'm also seeing that this was supposed to happen. This was all supposed to happen because you are supposed to speak your truth about everything you've gone through. Here's where it gets to your calling, pile one. Do you want to know what your calling is? I believe you're supposed to be a speaker. Pile one, I believe you're supposed to be a speaker of some kind. Now, whether that's through writing, vlogging, music, blogging or vlogging, maybe even as a tarot reader, But you are supposed to speak the truth about everything you experienced and went through and how you survived it and how you learned to love yourself. You are supposed to be a speaker. You are supposed to speak about what's happened to you. You are supposed to tell your story. Now there's many ways of doing that. Many ways of doing that. But whatever area you choose, maybe you'll choose to do it through art. Maybe you'll choose to do it through music. Maybe you're a singer, a rapper, a songwriter. Maybe you're going to write a book. Maybe a movie. Maybe a show. There's something but you have a story to tell. I can tell that there's something, there's a lot of things that you've had to go through. You've met through a lot of oppositions in life. You've met a lot of problems where people didn't show you any love. And then this could be just through friends, family, but especially in the love department. I feel you've survived through a lot. And it was to the point where you felt, and I feel for a lot of you, there's a point where you felt unlovable and had to learn how to feel loved yourself. You're supposed to tell your story. You're supposed to speak your truth. You're supposed to speak up about what happened to you. That is what I'm seeing clearly in your calling. Now, some of you might have already started doing this. Some of you might have thought about it. But I believe that at some point from now until in your future, that you are called. Even if you don't do something huge with it, it might just be to tell other people that you meet or come across about what happened to you, what you survived, what you've experienced, and how you learned to love yourself again. Because you have a powerful story and a powerful truth, power one, pile one, which tells me you hold a lot of power. And when I asked, why is this your calling? Which lets me know the spirit came through for you. Like all the cards, look how many cards. All these cards right here, all jumped out in one. And I was, I always say this, I was going to put them all away, but right away when I looked at the first cards that come out in that pot, I knew this was what it's supposed to say. We have to come out first, the Star and the Ace of Swords. It is part of your destiny to speak your truth. By whatever means you choose to do that. Your truth is powerful enough. Now I'm going to start channeling this out real quick, okay? So hear me out. Hear spirit out, because this is important. This is how powerful your truth is. I keep calling you power one. I know you hold power as pile one. I know this is something powerful for you. I know it. I feel it. Your destiny is to speak your truth. Your truth is powerful. That's why I keep calling you power. So powerful that it will bring people together. It will help people to see things clearly. It will help people to make better choices. It will help people who are going through major destruction in their life and everything's falling apart. They're trying to hold it together, and it might just be that truth that they need to hear that will help them to let go of what needs to be let go of. Your truth, and that's the Tower reverse, four coins. Yes, your truth will help people become unstuck when they're unsure of which direction to take next. Your truth will help people to turn their life around for the better. Your truth will help people to turn their luck around for the better. Your truth will help free people from mental entrapment. Your truth will help people to hear and answer their own calling. Your truth will help people to be able to sleep at night again. I have a feeling there's stuff you've done in your past that you might have felt was hard for you to forgive yourself for. I'm here to tell you we all make mistakes. No one is perfect. How you are able to move forward past that and share also too, not just the things you survived, but the mistakes you made. And share that with other people, that it's okay to make mistakes. We can keep moving forward. Will help other people to be able to forgive themselves so that they can move forward too. And I'm seeing that right here in the cards. Your truth will help people to let go of where they're trying to hold on to too much control and to take control where they need to take control. Your truth will help people be able to recognize who it is and isn't their friends, which is telling me, boy, you've been through the ringer with some crowds too, huh? Whether it's communities, crowds, friends, or family. But there was people who you had no business being around who were not being upright friends or a good, doing things in good faith behind your back. And I see that in the cards. And your truth will help people to move forward from all of this. I have a feeling your truth is a powerful one. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have called you power 3 times, right? power, pile 1. But your truth will help people to regain balance where they've lost it. Definitely. You hold a powerful truth. Also, I feel a lot of you have learned how to gain victory by letting go of the things that were controlling you and to release that were causing you to go round and around cycles that were hurting you, and you were able to release these things, and that is part of your truth. And your truth is to speak about the things that you've experienced, the things you've survived, and to speak about the mistakes you've made and how you were able to forgive yourself and others and move past it. That is a powerful truth, and it is meant to be shared, felt, spoken, heard. If you want to know what your calling is, well, what Spirit's showing me, it is your truth. And it is meant to be shared by whichever means you choose. Even if it's not to do something publicly, maybe it's through art, maybe it's through music, maybe even as a songwriter, you might have powerful lyrics that will touch people's souls. But whatever your truth is, even if you just share it with people you come across, even sometimes strangers on the street, there's people who need to hear your experiences because it could change the course of their life forever. That is what I'm seeing for your calling. This is what Spirit is showing me, pile 1, and it is a powerful one. So I hope this resonated and made some sense. I'm really glad you're here today, and I'm going to go ahead and take this to pile 2. Thank you for coming. I hope you feel... Hi, pile 2. If you chose the Silver Star Tea Light, pile 2, this is your reading on what is your calling. Now, before I start reading this one, I just want to say, as these cards came out, I am seeing a very, very specific and unique message, and I really feel that a lot of people who came to this pile will probably have to go to a different pile. But there will be, even if it's just for one person, there will be somebody who needs to hear this message. It's very specific, and it's also not what I was expecting to come out in this reading. But everybody is welcome to listen to it who came here, because perhaps maybe you'll know somebody else too who can benefit from this message if it's not specifically for you. But for whatever reason, the guides want this message to come out. So, like I said, I feel a lot of you, this won't be your pile. You will probably have to choose another one because it is extremely specific, but I'm going to try to read it too on a way where it might be make more sense to a... I'll read it to where it can be for more people, because I'm seeing multiple things here, but there's some things I'm going to touch on that are going to be extremely specific. So let's get into it. Okay, so pile 2, coming out for you, when I asked on what is your calling, we have coming out first, the Warrior. Also coming out with Camel in reverse and the Moth. Now, what I'm seeing here is, I feel, it's the camel in reverse that's getting me. I feel you're holding water for somebody or in the past, you've held water for somebody that you didn't need to be holding water for. And by that I mean, when they say, oh, that person can hold water, that person can't, like that person can keep a secret, that person can't. Well, I feel at some point in your life, or whoever's message this is, like I said, this won't be for a lot, you've held water for somebody that you didn't need to, or maybe you still are. And that means that you're holding on to some kind of secret or knowledge that you shouldn't, I can't tell you what you should and shouldn't be, but that Spirit is suggesting and advising that you don't have to hold on to. Like, really, maybe ask yourself, would that person hold on to that for you? It might be like, especially coming out next to Warrior, I feel that you're a person of great strength. You might even work, say, something like law enforcement or military. You don't have to. It could just be simply that, at some point in the past you were aware of something that happened, and it might have been somebody who is very close to you or that you love, and you're like, well, I'm not going to tell on them. But it was something that was serious. Something that was serious. And while you're like, well, I love them, I'm not going to tell on them, this might be something that needs to come to the light. That might be part of your calling, is you might be even freeing somebody else. Like, this is something I feel like I mean, the cards I'm seeing here, it's feeling like there might be somebody else who might have even ended up taking the blame for something they didn't do. And you might be somebody who knows exactly what happened, but you're just like, oh, I don't want to get involved, or oh, the person who really did that is someone I love and I'm not going to tell on them. This is why I'm saying this is a very specific pile. What Spirit's highlighting here is the calling is that there's something that you might be holding or knowing that you don't, it would be better to bring it to the light, the moth. Okay, and for some of you, it might be even, it's possible that it could be something that even you did maybe a long time ago, and it's fine. Maybe it's time to just finally get it off your chest, free yourself. But this is feeling a lot too like, and that you are strong enough to do this. This even almost feels like, you know, like when like the men, they go off to war, and there's just these things that they see and things that happen. You know, they even have certain movies that maybe certain, you know, like war crimes or things were committed, and it's like they come back and they're like, man, that's what, you know, that person's they're a soldier like me. I would never tell on them, you know, like, but it's like maybe certain things need to be understood or come out in the open. You know, it might be something that even eats you up inside to this day. And this is why I'm saying this is very specific and maybe not for everybody, because this is going, I feel, not just become like a calling read, but for this pile, but there's something specific that Spirit wants to highlight for somebody. Yeah, coming out, we also have, or even like, you know, when you're younger and you run in your groups of friends, you know, and maybe somebody did something like committed a crime and nobody ever got caught for it, and it's like, well, those are my homies, we'll never tell, you know, we're down forever, we'll take it to the grave, you know, something like that. Well, maybe there's, you know, someone somewhere who you could change their life if they knew the truth of what really happened. You know, so there's people who deserve to know, people who deserve to have closure. And so I feel that you are somebody who is strong enough to go through with this, to be the person who's actually strong enough to come out and say, hey, no, I know what happened. I know the truth. And I know they say snitches get stitches, trust and believe. I was brought up in Los Angeles County, okay? I used to battle addiction. I ran with the best of the worst of them at one point in my life before I turned my whole life around. Many years ago, I lived in Los Angeles County, and I ran around with certain crowds that, well, that's just for another day. But I understand the mentality, but I'm just saying at some point, especially when you're on the spiritual journey, and if you're here on my channel watching this now, you are on the spiritual journey, I'm sure. And there's a certain time and place where it's like, okay, now there's a certain time to let things go so you can be freed and not attached to certain karmas or things, you know, to make things right. And so, like I said, this really, I have to just keep saying it's probably not going to be a lot of people's pile, but for somebody, and if this isn't you, you might know somebody who needs to hear this message. Like, you might know somebody who knows something about something important, and you might be the person who can put that good advice in their ear that, hey, you should come forward and say something. People, you know, that person's family deserves to know. This is what I'm feeling. This is what needs to come out. We also have, complexity, flow, and perception. And I keep seeing that, what are those Air Force Ones on the card and a camera. Yeah, somebody knows something. Somebody knows something about something that happened. But it's a complex situation, and I feel like somebody's just like, at some point was just like, I don't want to get involved. Then we have thief coming out in reverse. It doesn't have to necessarily be about theft. It could be. But I'm getting the feeling of maybe some kind of crime or something that happened bad. Coming out down here, we have awareness and authority. In reverse, prosperity begins. I feel like there's a lot of people, including yourself, where there's something that maybe needs to be brought to the authorities, some kind of awareness, and somebody has this awareness and is able to bring that. And that would help bring a lot of healing to either a certain people or a family, or it would bring a lot of good karma even to you, even if you're the one who just puts in that good advice to somebody that, hey, I know you know something about the truth of what happened with that. You should go make it right. I'm hearing you could be a complete course correction for entire lives. You are somebody who, now, so this is where I'm going to make it so it's more collective. It might not be that you specifically know about a certain situation, but you might know, even say if like you're a teacher or a police officer who maybe helps to work with the youth or something like that, you know, where you're able to encourage people to make the right decisions, like, hey, you know, I feel like you really know the truth about something that happened. I can help you if you want to come forward. You know, and it's something about that would help. It would help a lot of people to, like a course correction, to be on the right path. It would help to free a lot of people of certain karmas, and it would, I feel, help bring a lot of, it's something that helps to bring a lot of healing to a lot of families. So if this is your message, you know, it doesn't have to be necessarily that you're holding water for something you did in the past, or even maybe necessarily that you know about something that somebody else did and that you just never said anything because you're like, I love that person, or I just don't, I'm scared to get involved. There's something, or it could just be that you know, you're aware of other people who are in that circumstance, and you're able to be somebody who's the person who gives the good advice, or plant that seed in their head, or say, hey, if you want to be, you want to make this right, or you want to speak up because you know the truth, I'll help you. You know, I'm not going to let nobody do anything to you. I will protect you. Something like that is what I'm really feeling here. Yeah, we have Magician in the mirror, carrying connections, and indecision. Yeah, it's really feeling like people who hold up smoke and mirrors because they're trying to maybe protect people that they love. And so they're indecision, like, I don't agree with what they did. I don't agree with what they did or what they're doing or what they know, but I'm gonna protect this person because I love this person. I don't want anything bad to happen to the one I love. Could even be like, say, if you're a parent of teenagers. Ooh, I'm getting a ping in my head. This will be for somebody. You say you're the parent of teenagers, and boy, oh boy, don't I know I would do anything for my kid. You know, my little boy turns 10 tomorrow. Well, by the time this gets uploaded, it'll probably be his birthday. He's turning 10. You know. And I know the love as a mother, the love we have for our kids is, you know, I get it, to protect our youth, to protect our kids. I understand that. But I feel that somebody here might be indecision, whether it doesn't have to be about kids, but indecision about something that somebody else did that could be, you know, somebody they love, whether it's a partner, a family member, a friend. And so they're protecting someone. But for whoever's message this is for, I feel you have the ability to shift this entire situation, even the narrative of a certain situation, for something to be corrected and made right. Somebody, I feel, there's somebody who might even be losing sleep behind what they know, because it's hard for them to hold on to this information. And I feel that you have the ability to either influence somebody to make the correct decision, or you're able to make the correct decision to close out a cycle and bring closure to a situation. Yeah, about things that were done possibly in the dark. Maybe somebody else took the blame for something, or somebody left somebody hanging, or somebody hurt somebody. And this is a chance to open up a window. This would open up a window of opportunity for the truth to be seen, to call that, like, the correct judgment to be called, so that things can come together correctly, and that. So that if I feel that somebody would have I'm hearing, a good defense. Like maybe somebody else maybe you're aware of somebody else who got, you know, falsely charged for something that they didn't do, and that person would then finally be able to defend themselves. I feel this might have something to do with somebody who you care about, but that, or maybe somebody's also worried about, you know, I feel like this too also could be weighing heavy on somebody's conscience, knowing something. And then also I'm seeing that not to worry, though, there will be a lot of protection. If somebody's worried that if coming out and saying the truth about a situation, if they're going to be protected or not, I'm seeing it heavily in the cards. There's protection even beyond the authorities. I mean, I'm talking like in spirit, angels, guides, like someone will be safe. I feel that, somebody's worried that they'll stop. I think too, somebody's worried maybe about money. Maybe somebody even offered money for somebody to not say something. But not to worry. If need be, I'm even here. I'm hearing if somebody needs, they could even possibly go into, for some situations, like witness protection or something. Yeah, this is very, like I said, really specific. But that this is to free, like also too, so that if somebody, by doing this, you'll also be able to free people from, it'll set an example to other people about, I feel like, who needs to be cut off. Because it's like learning, there's a learning experience in this, that either you're learning for yourself or that you're teaching to somebody else about friends or crowds or people that should have been cut off because of the conflict and problems that it brings. I feel too that this, if somebody does this, it'll be very freeing, and they will feel freed. They will feel like a weight is lifted off their chest. Whether you're helping somebody to free themselves, to remove this weight from their chest by coming clean and saying what they know, or if it's you yourself. But maybe I feel like somebody, and this will help bring you'll feel like you'll be able to find a lot more success in your life after that. Or for some people, for somebody here, it could be too that somebody's aware of something else that somebody did in order to climb the ladder to success. That maybe somebody did some pretty shady things in order to climb the ladder to success, and that somebody's able to come clean about that. Now I know that this all doesn't sound like a calling read, but this had to come out for somebody to hear today. This is a very specific pile. So if you came here and this isn't your pile, my bad. If you've heard it, perhaps you needed to hear this, because if not now, in the future, you'll know somebody, or you'll meet somebody, and when you meet them and you hear some of their story, you'll know instantly, oh, I'm supposed to help you'll know in your heart, I'm supposed to help give this person advice to do the right thing. This message is important for someone. I feel it so deeply. So if you came here and this isn't your message, my bad, go to one of the other piles. But I know this is important for somebody. It needs to be heard, and it came out just as it did, and it made perfect sense when I seen it. So for who it's for, I'm proud of you for doing the right thing. Even if you decide to say, hey, okay, I'm gonna admit that was me, or even if it was something from a long time ago, or even if it was something small, but it feels like to me like there's something about, it's that camel in reverse right away. I heard it, something about holding water that doesn't need to be held anymore, or holding on to water for somebody else that doesn't need to be, so it's something about speaking up, or telling the truth, or making sure truth gets told in some kind of situation. And it's become part of somebody's calling. It is a part of somebody's calling, not their whole calling, because would be just a one part. But for somebody, this needed to come out. I know it's very specific, so if this is in your pile, there'll be a few other piles to choose from. I encourage you to go check one of those ones out. But somebody definitely needed to hear this. Okay, so thank you for coming by. I hope you'll feel called to like and subscribe. I'm going to take it to pile 3. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the sparkly green round tea light pile 3, this is your reading on what is your calling. So this one was a lot more light and airy than the last one. Was pretty deep and very specific. Maybe for only one person even, but it had to come out. But anyways, let's get back into your pile now. Yes, yay, pile 3. You are coming out as the flame. Ooh. Let me tell you, from what I'm seeing on the board too, there's a reason that flame came out. I know, a lot of you probably don't want to hear about that right now, and I won't cover that until the very end, but there's more to that. So let me just say, the flame. You are one of the people who are a light in the world. Well, we all are. We all are a light in the world. But you have a very, very special light that you shine. Your light is bright, and your light is so very needed at this time. Your light is the kind of light that shines so bright that, and now I'm going to start reading Bear in reverse, Dragonfly reverse. Your light helps people to see the truth and to let go of the illusions that they so fiercely protect. The illusions that people hold on to and try to protect because, heaven forbid, their illusions get shattered. Your light is so bright it helps them to see the truth of their illusions and to see through their illusions so they can move past them. Wow, beautiful. Also coming out here, we have Leo, Neptune in reverse, and Cancer in reverse. And I'm being drawn to specific things where it says the lover, and Neptune with illusions, and Cancer, it says the doula. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of what a doula is. A doula is it's a specific... Did you guys hear Venus? I might have to pause this. Let me go get my baby, my cat. Hold on. You're that pile. You guys are that pile. I was talking about Leo, and here comes the cat. Hold on really quick, okay? Okay, pile 3. I'm back. Venus had to come say hi. Hi, say hi. Don't be shy now. You was all down meows. Oh, little baby. I love you, mommy girl. Oh, baby. Yes. Say, okay, don't mess up their cards. Go on, baby. Go. I love you, little fluffy gray butt. Look at that. Sorry. My spirit guide, Venus. My cat. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess you guys are that pile. Oh, yep, she just shut the laptop. Okay, sorry. Sorry for the distractions. Okay, so let me go back to what I was saying. Yes, Leo, Neptune reverse, and Cancer reverse. Oh, the doula. Yeah, so I don't know if all of you are aware of what a doula does. A doula is somebody who, they say, helps spirits or beings when they're crossing over from, like, one realm or plane to another. Like, so the babies that are getting ready to come from the astral to be born, they help them with that transition. And then, or when people, you know, come to, you know, go through the transition or transformation from, you know, death to the other side, they say there are certain spirits or beings who help people guide them through that transition. So that's a very powerful place to be. And it's hard to understand how that works as somebody who's incarnated, but that's something that your spirit does work with. And what I'm channeling off how these messages came out is you are somebody who actually takes pleasure in helping people to drop these illusions so that they can transition in life. And I don't just mean from life to death, but I mean from one way of living to another. This is something that, and I feel you actually are somebody who has a huge heart and that you reach out and help a lot of people. I feel a lot of people know they can come to you for help. I feel you're a very loving person because a lot of people see that light in you. Now, as somebody who personally knows from my own personal experiences, not everybody will take lightly to your light. Some people, it will irritate their demons. I'm barely aware of that, and I'm sure if you came to this pile, you are too. But for the most part, you'll know that there are a lot of people who will be drawn to your light because they're in much need of the love and help that you're capable of giving to them. Even if they're not always kind to you, they will come to you for help a lot of times at some point or another because they know that you are a loving, caring person who truly will try to help them to the best you can. And I think you love to help people. If you came to this pile, you're somebody who loves to help people. And that's a beautiful thing. And like I said, it's so very needed at this time. Also, I have to say, beautiful. We have caretaker and mediumship. Wow. Wow, pile 3. Ooh, so yeah, you care for people and you're really big on caring for people. You have a huge heart and your light is a beautiful light and you do take care of a lot of people. Yes, I have to tell you, if you came to this pile, you have mediumship abilities. I have to tell you, it came out in reverse. And what I'm gathering from that is that means that even if you are fully aware already of your mediumship abilities, they haven't fully developed yet. Even if you're a very strong medium, this just means they're going to get stronger. Your gifts are going to expand even more. It might even start to scare you a bit. So don't be scared though. Don't be scared though. It all comes with the territory of who you are and what your spirit does and how much your spirit helps people. I think a lot of your mediumship abilities are going to expand so much, so strongly. At some point you will probably be very well known even for your gifts and abilities and the way your gifts and abilities help people to see the things that they were maybe not able to see or maybe not able to understand, or it'll be things that will also help people to go from one way of living to another or to release and let go of some kind of illusions that maybe they were clinging to. So this is all part of your calling. Also, we have passion ignited and hope, and these are coming out in reverse. So what I'm getting is, what I'm channeling from this is the people who have you. I feel like the people who come to you for help are people who feel at a place where they feel like they're feeling hopeless. People who are at a place where they feel like they've lost the will to move forward with a lot of things. Like they're really going through it. Man, I don't even know how. I just don't have the will to take the next step forward. People who are at that kind of place where that people are in a really dark place, and you come along and your flame, that light of your flame that you hold, that light that you hold within you, helps the help you offer people helps people to realize that it's gonna be okay during that dark time. I think I've said this in another reading before, but it's kind of like, you know, they like that. I think I hope I say this right. It's like from off Facebook. I read it somewhere, like, why be somebody's sun when you can be their moon and be that light for them when they're in complete darkness? That's you. That's you, pile 3. You do that for people. So people who are really lost, really in the dark, your light that you hold is so bright that you're able to help be a guide for them and show them the way. And you offer that love and support when they're in a really dark place. And even if these are, I feel like even if these are people who, you know, are maybe not living on a high vibration, you still offer them that love and help because you like to help people. That's part of who you are. Yeah, and you also help people who have a hard time walking away from certain groups and friends, or communities or crowds. I feel that's because of things you yourself have had to do and experience. I feel also that even the people that it was hard for you to walk away from, if they came to you that you've had to walk away from, if these people were to come to you and ask you for help, you're the kind of person who would still offer them help, or at least send them in the right direction. Like, hey, here's some advice, here's where you can go, because you're the kind of person who's not spiteful, because it's not in your heart. Not that beautiful bright light you hold. It's not in your heart. You're the kind of person who like, hey, you know, like, I mean, I know this person probably isn't somebody I should be around, but I'm not a spiteful person, even though I know they've been doing some pretty effed up. I'm going to give them at least some sound advice of where they can go to get the help they need. You know, it's something to that extent. We also have, I mean, you guys got community coming out here twice. Now, whether you believe it or not, because some of you I feel have maybe had, at some point had to walk away from certain crowds or communities, I want you to know that those people actually look up to you. Even if they might not have showed it to you, even if they might not have been good to you in the past, those people, all those people know though, they know, without a doubt, they know that you're a good person. They know that you mean well. I want you to know that. Those people everywhere, people in the community, they don't look at you bad. They look at you good. And that might be, I'm feeling for some of you in the past, why some of them might have singled you out and tried to take advantage of you. I'm hearing that. I'm not seeing that in the cards, but I'm more hearing that right now. So, and that often happens, you know. Remember, sometimes your light is so bright, it will attract parasites and moths. You know, your light is so warm and you got to be careful, and which is why we always have to be careful. But, you know, yeah, people know though that you're a good person. They definitely do. Also, people know that, oh yeah, official person in house. I'm hearing for some of you, actually a lot of you, I feel there's been a lot of times where you've even opened your doors to people who were, maybe even people in your community who were really lost, had nowhere to go, were like a doula who was in transition of, even if it was like, you know, one life, they're trying to change their life, maybe even somebody who was sick, or somebody who was trying to get sober, or somebody who lost their own house, or somebody who, say there's, you know somebody and they're in an abusive relationship and they're like, man, you know, my partner just put their hands on me, I have nowhere to go. You're the kind of person, and I feel this has happened in the past, where you've opened your door and say, it's okay, you can come stay here for the night. Or, hey, here, you know, you're in a hard time right now, sure, you want to come in, you can come in, shower, and I'll make you something to eat. You know, like, you are that loving person. And that is beautiful. That is beautiful. I'm also seeing with, King of Wands and Six of Swords. And you help people who have lost the ability to know even what they want or what to do. Like the people, like King of Wands upright is like somebody who knows what they want and they go after it. But these are the people who have like got lost along the way. And they don't even know how, now they don't know how to move forward. You're the kind of person who's able to help guide people so that they can see the way. You shine that light so people are able to see the way of where they're going, what to do next, so they can find that will to get back on track and move forward. Beautiful. I love this. I really do love this. Yeah, this is all part of your calling, because you help shatter people's illusions and help them to stop giving into like, you help people to stop adding to their illusions. Like, people, you know, sometimes people become really so protective over their own illusions. Like, no, this is the, like, say you might know people or have friends who are like, yep, no, this is the one, this is the love of my life, but maybe they put hands on each other, maybe they cheat, maybe they're just not happy together, they argue all the time, and you're like, well, you know, I'm happy for you, and I'm not gonna, you know, overstep a boundary, but I just, you know, I feel you deserve better, or you just help them to see their own worth, so that then they realize they deserve better. You know what I mean? Like you have, I think your light is very special. It has a way of like not intruding into somebody's privacy, but more like just the way you do it. There's something special about the way you do it. Like, so you might notice somebody's really in a harsh, like I said, I'll go back to the relationship example, where it's like somebody's in a harsh relationship, and so you're not going to say, hey, leave that person, they're bad for you, but you might help to work on helping that person to remember all the great things about themselves, so they feel better about themselves. And when what happens then when they start to feel better about themselves, they're like, man, I don't deserve this, you know? And then they have now like that, their self-esteem is healthy again, and they're able to say, you know what, maybe I should move on from this. I don't like this. This is holding me back. Like there's something very special about the way you do things that helps people, because you have that a very special light. And you also help people to not to learn to not listen to everything they hear, so that they can you know, things that they were back and forth about, like, oh, well, I don't know, I heard this or that, I heard that, like you help shine a light, so like I said, like to break free from the illusions, so that they can see clearly, so that the things that they go back and forth with, like, I don't know what to believe, you're like, okay, you help people learn to listen with their heart, I feel. I also feel like people who feel like they can't do something alone, you go with them. Like if somebody's like, I can't go through this alone, you're the kind of person who'll be like, okay, like if somebody did just lose somebody, you know, you're the kind of person who will be there, or you'll let them into your house. Like you're the kind of person who'll be with people so that they don't have to go through it alone. So you also help people to take authority back over their life. You help people with your light. You help shine a light on the things that are not meant to be kept secret. Like people can't really hide things from you, and I feel like you don't go digging. It's just because of when you hold this kind of a spiritual light that you have, Pile 3, things are just illuminated to you. You just know things, right, Pile 3? You know things, especially with these mediumship abilities. God, the guides, the spirits, they come tell you, they be whispering in your ear, and you just know things. And you help, and with the things you know, and that you help and you use it as guidance to help people. It's so that they can be aware of certain things that they need to be aware of too, so that they can find healing in their life. And you help people see where they need to have moderation. This is all part of your calling. This is who you are. I have to also mention, this is where it came back, we did have the flame, and you did come out as a flame. And then down here we have the King of Queen of Wands. Don't get mad at me, don't shoot the messenger, y'all, don't shoot the messenger. We have the King of Queen of Wands and the Two of Cups. Yes, yes, you guys, don't be mad at me, but it is in your calling, part of your calling in this lifetime, at some point or another. You know what this means. Yep, I'm just going to say, I'm not going to say the TF word, I'm not going to say the SM soulmate word, I'm just going to say counterpart. How's that? But at some point, you are supposed to come in to some kind of connection with a counterpart. Okay? Now, whether that stays forever, whether that's already happened, or whether this is coming in the future for you, this is a part of your destiny in this life. It will happen. Now, that doesn't mean the happily ever after. It could be for the meaning of the uniting of the polarity of opposites, where there's going to be a merging where this happens, so that the two of you can mirror out of each other so that you can evolve and grow and, you know, evolve. That it might just be that, but like I said, you are coming out as the flame. Take that for what you will. It's look, I don't make the rules, I just read the cards. Okay, so and also then last but not least, we have coming out the Empress. Yes, you are the Empress or the Emperor. Okay, I have to note that on this specific card, she's writing something down, and this is telling me that you give great instruction and great advice. For some of you, I'm hearing something about maybe even a newsletter. Maybe at some point you might even be somebody who could do something like, I said this, I think in pile 1, 2, like something like blogging or vlogging, or maybe even having a newsletter, and that might be helping for like making a community of your own, of people can get together because you give such sound advice. Maybe even writing down. You might be somebody who might be really great at doing some kind of like maybe metaphysical or spiritual work, because I feel like you'd be really experienced in it, having this kind of light and the experiences you have. You might even write about the experiences you've had and what's worked good for you when it comes to helping out the collective. Or even a newsletter, something. But there's something here to that extent I'm seeing that maybe if you're not doing it yet, maybe some of you already are, but if you're not, that might be something that you might consider in the future, because it would be, you know, something that helps a lot of people. So yeah, I feel like a big part of your calling is just the way your calling is to just keep sharing your light. Your beautiful, bright light, very spiritual. You are very gifted. If you came to this pile, you're somebody who has a lot of spiritual gifts and you love helping people. And this is all a part of your calling. It is what you are called to do. And I really feel a lot of you are going to be able to incorporate that into some kind of actual career or occupation. Some of you might not make it a career occupation, but it is something that you still do that is a fairly heavy theme in your life. Okay? So I love this energy. It's beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and take it to pile 4. I hope this resonated, and if it did, I hope you'll feel called to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in another pile or another reading. Bye. Oops. Hi, pile 4. If you chose the gold star, pile 4, if you chose the gold star tea light, this is your reading on what is your calling. Wow, pile 4. These are some pretty powerful cards that came out. So we're going to get right into it. First, coming out, you're coming out as the sustainer. Oh, this is beautiful energy. I love this. Okay. Let me keep reading the cards and I'll come back to the sustainer. We also have butterfly reverse, wolf, and owl in reverse. Wow. You are a fierce protector, pile 4. You protect people from the things they cannot see. You also help people who are in a very broken place in life. People who feel very broken. People are having a hard time healing. You are the person who will protect them. I hear you're like, you will protect the underdog. Like you root for the underdog and you help out the underdog. Pile 4. You are straight up part of your calling. Your calling, you are a healer. You came out straight up as Chiron, the wounded healer. And I feel guided to ask you, how bad did it hurt, pile 4? How bad did it hurt? Because healers don't come from easy lives. I know. Healers don't come from easy lives. So how bad did it hurt, pile 4? Because I know you've gone through some pain. You're coming out as the wounded healer. And it lets me know that is your calling. You are a healer and a sustainer. You are a sustaining force in people's lives. You are, and because of everything you've been through, you are a fierce protector of people. You protect people from things that they can't see. You protect the people who are having a hard time healing. You are a fierce protector and healer. And boy, oh boy, I know you've been through it. And you can't lie to me. My cards don't lie. I know you've been through it. Wow. Powerful energy. And through the things that were so hard for you to heal, that you might not even fully ever heal from your entire life, you take that and you wear that almost like a badge of honor and use those scars to help others heal. And thank you for that, pile 4. Thank you. Also, I feel that in some point in your life, because we have the card write, as in writing, coming out in reverse, I feel there might be something that you decide to write about in the future that you haven't yet. You might have thought about it, but I don't think you have yet, or at least to speak about, or document, or maybe do a documentary of your story, of everything you've healed from and been through, and the way you've helped others. I think it would be an immense success. And we also have integrity coming out for you. You do things with great integrity. After everything you've been through, you have great integrity. You still stand for what's right and do what's right. And I applaud you for that. Yes, I see that you help people who feel alone, who feel very disconnected and alone. You come through and give a helping hand and are there for and are friends with the people who feel unlovable, the people who are hurting, the people who are having a hard time healing. The garden and the gate. You help show people to see another way. You help people see when they're looking for another way out, or they feel stuck and trapped and they don't know what to do next. they feel off balance, like something's missing, you come in and you help them. The people who are having a hard time to integrating, and maybe that's what's preventing them from healing, is they're not able to go within and accept certain parts of themselves. You help them with that. I also see that you're a very hard worker. I feel that you might even also help people to find work. I feel that people who are, people who are having a hard time, there are people who, yes, okay. Some of you might work, a lot of you do. Okay, how do I want to word this? Because it's going to come out in multiple ways. People, I feel, who have, this will be not for all of you, but for a lot of you, you help people who are need to be more fully present for their children in one way or another. Whether this be people, you help people to heal so they can keep their children, or you might even work in some kind of social work. You might work in some kind of schools or with the youth in some way. If not, you love children. You do what you do to make the world a better place for the children. If you have children yourself, you're a great parent, even if you don't have them anymore. I felt called to say that. I feel a lot of you have gone through something at some point, maybe in the past, where maybe you had to have, something that came up with the children in the courts, and it might have been heartbreaking for you. And through that, you've taken that experience and used it to help others so that they don't have to experience it. I feel also, or maybe some of you might even work maybe in schools. Maybe you're a teacher, a social worker, or you just like to work with the youth, or if it's you simply make the world a better place for the children. But there's something very special here that's being highlighted about children, and that maybe it's because maybe something happened to you as a child. Maybe that's why you are the wounded healer, pile 4, because of everything you experienced when you were a child. And that'll be for a lot of you, I feel. And that you don't want anybody else to have to experience that. So maybe people who are having a hard time healing from their own childhood wounds, you help them with that, and you help people protect children. I also feel that you also help the people who are having a hard time changing for their children. Maybe you have friends who are going through hard times, whether it's abusive relationships, addictions, running around in the wrong crowds, and you try to help set a good example or give good sound advice so that they don't lose their children, so that they can be more present for their children. Something very big here about children is being highlighted when this came out, okay? People who might not be living up to the right expectations for their children, you come through and help them with that because you have so much integrity. Wow, this is powerful. This healing energy you guys have is a very powerful energy, and this is all part of your calling. I'm also seeing, what is this? Moon reverse, 9 of Wands reverse. Yeah, people who have fought the good fight, as they say. They're fighting the good fight, trying to do their best, but they feel like they can't fight anymore. Maybe people feel like they're fighting a losing battle, and they feel like they want to give up and they don't see a way. You come through and you give a helping hand, and you help show them a way when they feel there isn't one, or at least you try. You don't give up on people. The people who feel very, very alone, very much like they have nobody, it's at that time when they're the most alone. I feel that's when you come through, because I feel that's what what that feels like. Don't you, pile 4? Yeah, I feel people who have lost a lot. Maybe even people who have been even stolen from or gotten over on. People who have even lost maybe all their money, or lost their families, or having a hard time changing so they don't lose their family. People who want to give up. People who have walked away even from their families. I feel you're the person who gives them the sound advice to go back and fight for their family, to go back and fight for their children, to go back and fight for what they love, to not give up that good fight, to keep going, to do what's right, and to go back. Maybe even people who are like, I can't do this anymore, I give up, and they walk away from fighting. And you come in and you're like, no, you can't give up. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep fighting. You've got to do it for your family. Do it for yourself. You help give people that. You're a sustainer. You help people get back on track. And you give them that sound advice because you've been there. Also, people who feel like nobody else will work with them. People who I feel too, you help people if you can, like if you're able to help people like with work, even if maybe it's just like, yeah, sure, you can help me clean up around the house or fix something around the house, so that like people are having a hard time providing for their family, or they feel like no one else will give them an opportunity. You help give them that opportunity if you can, or you refer them to somewhere they can. You might even be somebody who works with them in one of those state departments, that help place people with work, or maybe even welfare. You help that so that people, because you go from people who have no opportunities to giving them an opportunity. And that is beautiful. Wow. Yes, you do. You're one of the kinds of people who do a lot of small deeds too, because it brings together the overall picture and makes this world a better place for the children. You see on this card, this is 21. This is the world, and it's a puzzle piece. And at the bottom, it's two cherubs, but they look like two children holding up the world. And this person's hand is here bringing in that little puzzle piece, because every little small deed adds up. It's like a butterfly effect. It's like that movie, Pay It Forward, Pay It Forward. It's all going to come back. You don't worry about people paying you back, because it's not why you do it. You do it because you're trying to make the world a better place for the next generation and the next generation. Man, pile 4, I applaud you. Because no matter how bad it hurt, you didn't let it turn you cold. And you let that be whatever happened to you, you let that be the motivation for you to keep helping other people, so that they don't give up on themselves, and that you try to help them when they're having a hard time healing. You help them from the things they can't see, because you understand it, because you've already experienced it. Beautiful, beautiful energy. And this is all part of your calling. This is who you are. This is who you are called to be. I feel a lot of you are already answering this call, because as the wounded healer, this is telling me that you've already experienced the wounds, and that you're already using those wounds to help heal others. So you are answering the call already. And I think this is such beautiful energy, and I'm so proud of you. And this is such a pleasure to read. I'm going to go ahead and take it to pile 5. Pile 4, love this energy. Thank you for being you and all that you do. I hope you feel called to like and subscribe. I'm going to take it to pile 5 now. Hi, pile 5. If you chose the purple star tea light, pile 5, this is your reading on what is your calling. So let's get right into it. Pile 5. Yes, I just laid these cards out, and I'm getting some pretty clear and precise messages. So we're coming out with the ocean and the dead end. The ocean and the dead end. And let me tell you right off the bat what I'm getting. I'm feeling greatly like you are a generational curse breaker. If not just for in your family or your bloodline, for the collective, as in things that needed to come to an end, cycles that needed to come to an end, things that are just been passed down from one generation to the next, and whether that be in family or on a collective level, I'm hearing with you, you're like, no, it stops here. This is where it ends. There's a lot of heavy scorpionic energy here with this. It's like putting a deading out, putting an end to things that no longer serve the individual, the family, or the collective. You're the person who's like, yeah, no, it stops right here. It stops with me, because you're making this world a better place for the next generation to come, and be that in your family or even in the collective. Good job, pile 5. We also have here coming out the hummingbird reverse, the scorpion, and the crow reverse. And what I'm getting from this is this just really mimics and mirrors what I was just saying with the generational curse breaker, is the things I hear it's like with the hummingbird reverse, scorpion. Yeah, you're putting it, it's like, I can hear somebody saying like, there's no more getting around this. There's no more getting around it. This is where it ends. This is where it stops. Like your stinger comes, no, cannot go on anymore. This will not go on anymore. It stops right here with me. Things that people didn't want to, crow reverse, things people didn't want to look at, things that people refused to look at that were wrong. You all know. It stops here. Coming out next, we have 12th house, Taurus, and 7th house. It is possible you could be somebody with some heavy 12th or 7th house placements. You don't have to, but I'm with the 12th house, I'm being drawn to the word surrender on it. That you're like, no, this is where this is being surrendered. Like, and I feel you're somebody who's had to surrender a lot in order to come to terms with certain things and acceptance with certain things that might have been happening within your own possibly family or your own bloodline. And I feel this is something that with Taurus you've had to fought hard to, because 12th house is also things that are, you know, away from us. So coming out with that next to Taurus, which I'm personally somebody who has Taurus in the 12th house, so I understand what it is to have your self-worth and your value kept from you. Or a lot of people don't come into your life that show you how valuable you are, or show you that treat you like they value you. That's a part of having a Taurus 12th house, so trust me, I get it. But this is like, there's been a lot of having to learn to love yourself, and there's been a lot of lessons in self-love and healing your self-worth and your self-esteem, and finding the value in yourself again, so that you can relate to others in a healthy way, and so that you can have your own healthy relationships and partnerships, and so that it doesn't carry on any toxic cycles that were cycled from previous generations, so that you can create a new cycle. You know, that like I said, the generational curse stops there, and that way you can have real loving partnerships. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean that there was no love in your family. No, quite the opposite. It's just sometimes things were just passed down from one generation to the next, and that's all people knew. And you know, we try not to hate them for that, right? But it's a matter of being the one who decided to heal the wound so it doesn't carry on to the next generation. And it's a lot. It's a heavy weight to carry, but very powerful. Very powerful. I also see here we have confidence. Yeah, there's probably a lot of hits to your confidence. Rejuvenation. This was hard for you to change from and come back from, but I with assistance and gifted. Oh, I feel like you're somebody who's very gifted, and due to maybe wounds and things that came from not maybe seeing your value or your own worth because of all the self-love wounds that might have come from things that needed to be healed from maybe your own bloodline. Maybe it was hard to see how gifted you were for a long time, but I could tell you're somebody who's very gifted, and you have a lot to offer the world. And you have a lot of divine and angelic assistance around you that's helped you to do this, because it's quite a hard job breaking cycles, breaking generational curses. It's not an easy job or an easy position, and I know it's like kind of feels, I'm sure sometimes like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. We also have intuition, reverse, and throat chakra, and what this is telling me is the things that people didn't want to see, the things that people didn't want to accept, you are the one who speaks up about it. You are the voice for the voiceless. You are the voice who has decided to come up and say, hey, no, this is not okay. There might have been certain things that happened in your family. There might have been things that happened, there's people who, I'm just going to give an example, like say families where there might have been some kind of abuse that happened somewhere growing up along the line, and nobody speaks up about it because, we don't want to air our family's laundry, and, we don't want people get up. And I feel you're the one who's like, no, this is where it ends. I am going to speak up and say something. No, it stops. No, my children aren't going over to so-and-so's house for the holiday. No, I'm not going back over to that house. Like, you're the one who put an end to it. I also feel like, yes, you have a lot of angel. The divine is helping you out so much. Angel of balance. Thinking man, I feel also too that you have a lot of creative energy that you've also thought about a lot of ways that a part of, like, maybe say one of your generational curses is you might not have had from the cards here, you might not have had a lot of, because we also have right here, I'm reading kind of like channeling them all at once, we have sudden wealth in reverse, privilege in reverse, and thoughts. So for some of you, it could be too that you came from not having much. You came from a place of not having much, and it's taken you've really thought out a lot of ways of, I'm hearing getting it out the mud, starting from the bottom and finding a way out to be able to offer and provide better, because you want to have better to be able to give something to the next generation, to your own kids, to have a better life for yourself, even if you didn't have maybe full support. Or maybe for some of you, even it could have been that you lost the support of your family because you did speak up about certain things that happened. And so you had to then do it, maybe a lot of things do on your own without having help or support from your family, because some people get upset. I can't believe you spoke up about that. We don't talk about that in this family. This is just, a lot of things. I think there's a lot of families where they like to just kind of like sweep things under the rug, like it never happened. Everything's okay. We're nothing to see here, folks. We're fine, But I think you're the one who's like, I'm not having it. I'm going to speak up. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And this has all been part of your calling. I'm also seeing here, I feel with 5 of Wands and Temperance in reverse. So I feel like there was, I think it was hard for a lot of people to see you heal and move on and do better and want better. And it's not that I feel that these people hated you. I feel it's like, let's just say, for instance, when there's a black sheep, right? And everybody maybe likes to blame that person. That's kind of like like the scapegoat, like, oh, it's because they're doing this. Well, when that person gets better and starts doing good, people then don't have anyone to blame anymore. And it causes a problem, because then people kind of become forced to look at themselves. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here. Like, it was more easier maybe for some people in your life, maybe your family, your life, or just people around you for you to be unhealed. And because, and so then, possibly it was I feel like not a lot of people might have made it easier for you to heal, or after you healed, it made people realize how unhealed they were, and it might have caused a lot of issues. I'll just leave it like that. I'm also seeing here, this is on a side note, I feel somebody here is a really good cook. I feel that might be something you do maybe even as part of your love language, or like, people have comfort foods. I feel like that might be one of the creative ways you channel your energy, like when, like there's something going on, you just get in the kitchen, get to cooking, and I feel that you're really good at doing that. And I feel it's also something very healing for you and for others. I think a lot of people like your cooking. That might not be for everybody, but for somebody. And then also I feel that for some of you, a part of there might be like father wounds, or because with this Emperor in reverse, there might be some issues that came from some kind of father wounds. And for one specific person, well, maybe I don't say one, but for somebody specifically, there might have been issues behind maybe after a father or grandfather, or maybe even an uncle possibly, who passed away. There might have been issues or fights in a family behind maybe an inheritance or things that would have been left to them. That might have also caused some issues in fighting in the family. I have a piece of there's like dry skin on my lip, I feel like. Sorry. Side note. Need some chapstick. Okay. I feel like this is your calling, because it was meant for you to be able to stand in your power and to be able to go after the things you pursue. Hold on, let me start channeling this for a second. I feel that you're somebody who is able to see the way and see things that people weren't wanting to look at, and you're the person who is set to be, no, this needs to be looked at, this needs to be addressed, so that it can be fixed and healed, so that my kids and your kids don't have to deal with that type of energy, so that there can be a lot of healing. Yes, I'm feeling mostly, it could be, feminine or mother wounds, but I'm feeling I have the Emperor coming out twice, once reversed, once upright, so that's kind of giving me the feeling that there might have been a lot of father wounds here that you were sent to heal. And also so that, because these were I think you bared a lot of the burden, and took on a lot of burdens that you took on, so that the next generation wouldn't have to carry these burdens, that they wouldn't be, as I'm seeing these cards, so that these burdens wouldn't be passed down to the next generation. You might not have had a lot of help, or a lot of people give you a lot of support. There might have even been, I feel like, being picked on. You might have like certain family members that might have even picked on you or bullied you. Because it was hard, because it was hard for them to see you change. It was easier for them to see you stay in the same place as they knew you. Maybe growing up and seeing you change was harder. You might have even had to sneak around to get certain things done so that you could avoid being bullied. There might have been things you were working on that you kept away from your family, because it was like your own little project, I feel. And I feel like for a lot of you, you had to fight hard, because there was, I feel like, a lot of support. We have another King coming out in reverse, and this is whether you're a male or a female, but this is just telling me it feels like maybe whether it was somebody didn't want to help you or not, or maybe for some of us, they couldn't help you. You know, we might have come from a family that came from not having a lot, and so I feel you had to fight hard to give yourself and the next generation having a new opportunity. But the last card coming out, Ace of Pentacles, you're accomplishing your goal. You're making it. Whether, I feel some of you have already made it. You fought hard for a new beginning for yourself and for the following generations, and you've made it. And some of you, you're still working on it, but it's coming. Otherwise, this card wouldn't have come out last. My cards don't lie. It's coming. You've got opportunities coming. And you're going to make it. And the universe is backing you because you've done such a great job to go ahead and put an end to cycles. And for those of you where this isn't specifically within your family line, it's something you're doing on a collective level, so that you're breaking, you're putting an end to things that need to be ended for the future generations to come. So maybe it's just the way you interact in society. Maybe it's almost giving, it's like a feeling even of possibly like activists, like people who stand up for things. You know what I mean? And this is beautiful. And that is, to me, an activist is in a sense a generational curse breaker too, because it's just, even though it's not in a family, it's the generations on a collective level. It's putting it in like, hey, this is what's going on in society and this is not okay. I am not okay with this. I'm not going to turn a blind eye to this. There is no more moving around this. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to be the voice for the voiceless. So this is beautiful energy, and it's all part of your calling, and you are going to be blessed for doing the right thing. I really see that here. I definitely feel you're somebody who stands up and speaks up when it needs to be. When something needs to be said and nobody else is saying it, you're the person who's going to speak up and say it. Like, this is not okay anymore. I am not okay with this, and this is not okay. And for that, you are going to be blessed and rewarded. Okay? I'm really happy to read this energy. This is not easy energy. Trust me. I know this is not easy energy. Not having the full, support and being the one who always speaks up about what's right and what's wrong. It's not easy because you all often get met with a lot of opposition. And for doing the right thing, I'm very proud of you. And this has all been part of your calling. This is who you are called to be. And so thank you for letting me read your energy today. It was been beautiful reading this. I hope you will feel called to like and subscribe. I will see you guys in another reading.